Like, he expected things to happen very early on that weren't happening. And I feel like, I told him, like, I'm not having sex until I get married. Like, I just don't want to have sex with anyone like that, because I started getting closer into, like, my faith of knowing, like, my worth, and I just didn't want to, like, entangle myself with a bunch of people anymore at that point.
Wait, just to be clear, how long ago was this relationship?
This started when I was, like, about to turn 23.
And you said you were waiting until marriage to have sex. Mm-hmm. So you've been celibate for the past 4 years?
I was celibate until earlier last year.
What happened to waiting until marriage?
I fell into a really dark place in my life.
That needed to be fixed by sex, of course.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of men can agree when you need your ego stroked. I needed my ego stroked. I was, like, not dancing anymore. He was no longer paying for anything. I was kind of, like, really losing myself again. And so, yeah, I had sex with someone. And
just him? That's the only guy you've
one
had
person.
sex
And then
with?
Several months later, I started dating my now boyfriend.
And you've had sex with him?
Yeah, but we've been, like, on and on abstinent, trying to not.
When's the last time you had sex? Yesterday?
No, I want to say, like, in June.
Okay.
And then before that, it was, like, a month without having sex.
So hang on. So how long have you been abstinent?
It was 3 years until last, like, January.
Oh. But you just needed your ego stroke.
Yeah, I was going through some difficult things.
And then when were you baptized?
Last year.
Was this before you decided to throw the abstinence out of the window?
I was already dating my now boyfriend.
Yeah. But it was before you threw the abstinence out the window.
No, it was after.
So you were baptized afterwards?
Yeah, I was baptized after I started dating my now boyfriend.
Couple questions.
And your now boyfriend, you're still engaged in? Is this your now boyfriend?
Yeah.
And are you engaged in a sexual relationship with this person as well?
Like I said, we're trying to, like, stay abstinent until we get married.
Trying is a very strange. That's a strange
Trying is a
phraseology.
because it's really hard when you both lust after each other and you're trying to like, abstain from having sex when you obviously have a physical craving. That's just what flesh is. You want that intimacy.
Yeah, no,
with your
I understand
person.
all that. My direct question to you is, are you engaged in a sexual relationship with your current boyfriend?
Yeah, but we haven't had sex in, like, a month.
In a month.
Okay. Wait, so...
Or when was June? That was long ago?
Your current... So you said there was, like, a guy who you had a short fling with and a guy you've been in a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have to spend... Like, have
No.
they spent money on you?
Well, my boyfriend made me a stay-at-home girlfriend, but that's only for the purpose of, like, we are very, what's the word? We're very, like... I can't think of the word right now. We know what we want to do moving forward with our relationship.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200.01. As the Hawk Tour girl said recently, what fills the hole often does not fill the soul. So choose wisely words to live by. From one degen to all of you degens.
Okay. I saw that interview. That was kind of funny. Thank you, Grid 1. Really appreciate it, man. Wait, and, like, just curious, so there's the fling. You said it was kind of an ego thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Just so, like, was it like a one-night stand? Like, you met him in the bar?
We met and we went on a couple dates, and then he went back because he wasn't from here. He went back to where he lives, which is the UK, and then we were, like, talking for several months, and then I ended up going out there to see him.
How soon into was it the first date, second date that you guys hooked up, or?
I want to say the third day because he was leaving. So I was just thinking, like, you're leaving, and
right.
Yeah. Like,
and what about the current boyfriend? First date, second date, third date?
It was the first date, but I wasn't, like, again, that was, like, right after each other. Not right after each other. That sounds gross.
Wait,
it wasn't, like,
so he's
back
going
to
back
back.
to the UK.
It
then
was.
How soon did you meet the new guy?
Like March
Wait,
So I met the new guy January. I met my boyfriend. April. We started talking in April.
wait, you met the British guy. Is he British?
Yeah.
You met him in January? Mm-hmm. And then he was leaving. So, okay, when did he
came
leave?
here for like 2 weeks. He was here
when
for
did
2
he
weeks.
leave?
I met him like several days before he left.
When did he leave? January?
January, yeah.
And then you met your now boyfriend in April?
Yes, last April, yeah.
Okay,
This was like
first
last year, yeah.
Well, hold on. I mean, this 2-year guy, I'm waiting till marriage, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But the 2 most recent men that you've had sex with, one was he was leaving soon, and there was absolutely no prospects of long-term relationship because he was leaving.
I thought there would be. I was like
Okay.
retarded.
Was there?
Oh, I can't say that.
That's okay.
I was like I said, I was like in a low place and I was like not thinking. I was just thinking for my ego.
But then your current boyfriend, first night.
Yeah,
date.
because I was, again, like I was not in the greatest place. I thought I was going to.
Weren't you in a bad place when you were dating the...
Yeah, it was a long period of like, I was losing everything.
But why does the 53-year-old get, I'm waiting till marriage, and then like these guys, first date, second date, third date? That's where I'm confused.
Well, because he's 53. I met him at a club, and that's kind of what the whole aspect of it was from the whole like.
Yeah, so you were using him.
Yeah, I've said that. I don't know why you guys keep asking it like it's
because
a confusing
of the
question.
post hoc. I'll tell you why we kind of keep getting confused. Keep getting confused because of the post hoc justification, meaning every single time you kind of take responsibility for this and say, yes, I was using him and this and that, you give us a series of qualifiers for that. And it's a series of qualifiers that are bothersome, right? Yeah, I'm responsible, but he kind of had it coming. Yeah, I'm responsible, but he knew what was going on. Yeah, I'm responsible, but yeah, I'm responsible, but yeah, I'm responsible, but. That's why it's confusing, because the question really is, in this particular case, if you're using this guy and you scam this guy and you did all these, horrific things to this guy, myself and the entirety of the audience is actually confused as to how this isn't just really just kind of your fault, and that you're just kind of playing fast and loose with the idea of, well, I didn't want to lower my morality. Doesn't seem like it had much to do with morality. You just didn't want to screw him because he was 53, right? Like, isn't that what was going on?
Well, I just saw him as like a trick. Like he was just some guy from the club. The guy that I had met from the UK I met him at a nightclub. I never go out like that. And so it to me at the time felt very destiny, stupid. Like it was dumb. It was very dumb. And like I said, ego driven. And in that time of like, I was slowly starting to let go of the 53-year-old. I was letting go of dancing. I had no money. It was a fat ego stroke for me to like completely changed my life within like a matter of like 4 months. It's not something, and I think that's kind of like what I was trying, I guess, to bring to the show, is that like I feel like you guys interview a lot of girls and don't realize like getting out of the fast money is not easy, and it's really hard to do that gracefully. And even like you're saying like, I'm not taking ownership. I'm taking ownership 100% that what I did was wrong.
Restitution.
He doesn't want anything like back. He's still trying to give me money. Yeah, he doesn't. He's still trying to give me money.
Wait, so Andrew, I think we gotta also just address like.
He knows I have a boyfriend. He knows that like.
This guy ain't perfectly like. How do I frame this? Like he's a sucker. He's a sucker and a simp. Like, bro, you should, as a dude, you should not be spending, I don't care if you're trying to bag like a younger girl, like a younger woman, whatever. Like, you can't be spending this kind of money on a chick.
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm not willing to go the what about the Mendo argument. In this case, I see somebody who's clearly been victimized and has clearly been victimized multiple crimes. And even if now this person's still pining after this woman, this was all done under a false assumption of a potential for some type of long-term relationship by her own admission. So even the feelings, which he could be feeling right now, he may not ordinarily have had if he was not led on. So I'm just not willing to put the ball back in his court for responsibility just yet.
I'm not like saying that there's no blame on her, but I'm saying like you meet a stripper in a strip club, or even if you meet a normal woman, you should not be spending this sort of money on a woman. Like, I would say this to any guy. I would say this to any dude. Like, you shouldn't be spending this kind of money. So I'm not saying she's like.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with you in spirit, but let me kind of make just a bit of a counter rebuttal here. So grandma gets called by a scammer at Target, goes down to Target, spends $500 on gift cards, gives them to the scammer. You would tell grandma not to do that, right? You'd say, Grandma, you're getting suckered and this and that, but who's the victim there?
The grandma.
The grandma. You wouldn't tell grandma that, grandma was you wouldn't beat up on grandma, in other words, right? You would tell grandma, like, look, you can't be doing this. This is bad for you to do. But you're doing that so that they avoid being suckered in the future, not because they themselves are doing something which is immoral or wrong.
Well, so let me ask you this, though, Andrew. So I'm sure you would agree that there are some scenarios where men they have agency,
yeah,
and they're just willfully giving women this sort of money.
Yeah, simps.
And so there's certainly 100%, like the grandma example, it's a scam. There's women who are running love scams on men. But there are also men who are inclined to just give this money away to women who, the women themselves, I'm not saying that's even the case for her, the women themselves are not necessarily angling to scam the guy. So there are men who will just, like, the woman's not asking for it, they'll be soliciting essentially this sort of dynamic.
I agree. And you're talking about the pay pig phenomenon, which we've so often kind of run into on this program with these women. However, I'm not convinced in this case that is what's going on. And I haven't, as I'm kind of piecing this together from the story, that's not what I'm hearing here. I'm hearing that this guy is moving towards, now she says that she thinks that he's moving towards, I want to marry you so that she'll be physically intimate with him. And perhaps that's true, right? But it could also be the case that he just wanted a long-term relationship with her. I have no idea. There's no way for us to know that for sure. What we do know for sure, though, is that he did not want to give her some of this money, and she would just transfer it to herself, and then later he would just say, well, fine, I guess since you did it, there's nothing I can do about it, and, that's that. So I'm not sure exactly what he's done, which is wrong here. You know what I mean?